went to answer it, and I heard his delighted, "Oh, Chloe. What a surprise." Rachel looked like she might actually pass out. Chloe walked in with a folder, all professional, in her button-up shirt. She apologized for interrupting the birthday dinner, but said she had some work documents Rachel needed to sign urgently for Monday morning. Tom, being the perfect host, immediately invited her to join us for cake later. Rachel tried to usher Chloe toward the front door, but Ruth insisted they could handle work stuff right there at the table since we're all family here. Chloe sat down in the empty chair beside me, which I'd strategically saved NGL. Rachel was gripping her fork so hard I thought it might bend. That's when Ruth asked Chloe how the big presentation went, the one Rachel had apparently been leading. Chloe looked confused for a second before catching on. She glanced at me, then at Rachel, and I could see her making a decision. Chloe said the presentation went well but clarified that their boss had delivered it, with Rachel and the team providing support. Ruth looked confused and said that wasn't how Rachel had described it. I jumped in because I'm messy like that and asked Chloe about Rachel's promotion. Poor Chloe looked so uncomfortable. Caught between loyalty to a coworker and not wanting to lie to an entire family, she fidgeted with her napkin and said something vague about company restructuring. Rachel interrupted with this fake laugh and tried changing the subject to sports or whatever, but her brother wasn't having it. He asked Chloe point blank what Rachel's current title was. The silence that followed was like that moment when you drop something in a public bathroom. Everyone hears it. No one wants to acknowledge it. Chloe looked at Rachel, who was silently pleading with her eyes, then at me. I nodded slightly. She cleared her throat and said that Rachel was an administrative assistant in the marketing department. The silence. Ruth put down her fork slowly. Her grandpa made this little hump sound. Kyle muttered something that sounded suspiciously like, "I knew it." Rachel immediately went into damage control mode, saying Chloe was confused, that she had multiple roles, that it was complicated. But the dam had broken. Her family started asking specific questions that she couldn't weasel out of. When did you get promoted? She hadn't. Why did you say you had a team? She didn't. What about that corner office you mentioned? Also fictional. With each question, Rachel's stories unraveled more. She kept looking at me like this was somehow my fault, which just made me more determined to let everything come out. Tom, bless his heart, tried to smooth things over. He suggested we all have some cake and talk about happier things. As he went to the kitchen to get it, Kyle asked me directly about the restaurant I'd mentioned earlier. This was my moment. I took a deep breath and told them everything. How Rachel had invited me to meet her friends, how she'd belittled me throughout dinner, how she dumped me in front of everyone and walked out, leaving me with a $347 bill I could barely afford. Rachel tried interrupting several times, but her mom shut her down with this look I'd never seen before. Pure disappointment. Rachel's defense, that I was exaggerating and playing victim, that I had embarrassed her in front of her colleagues by not fitting in, that leaving me with the bill was teaching me financial responsibility. Her grandpa actually snorted at that last one. Chloe, who had been quiet through most of this, finally spoke up.